Hey, this is Moritz from Wolkify.com. I am in beautiful Stockholm. We have another sunny day here, and I actually want to talk about the advantages that come with living in such an amazing city. Okay, so I actually just moved here 2 weeks ago, and I want to tell you a little bit about why I moved here. So I moved here for a job, but to be honest, it was not the best offer that I had on my table. I applied for a lot of different things, and eventually I had the great situation that I could choose from 4 different jobs, and 3 of them were really well paid and challenging and basically everything you want from a job. And I took the 4th, which turned out to be here in Stockholm. So why did I do that? Well, I did it because it was in Stockholm. So 2 weeks ago I moved here, and I gotta say I had really high expectations. I didn't move here because the job was so great or the pay was so great. I moved here because I expected a lot from Stockholm itself. And after just 2 weeks I can say Stockholm really delivered. I made so many great experiences already since I came here. Experiences that just were not possible in smaller, remote countryside cities. So basically the 3 other options that I had. I moved here and I really wanted to keep improving myself. I wanted to keep developing my passions. I wanted to be able to meet people who are like-minded. I wanted to be stimulated by the environment that I'm in. And this is everything that I already got the last 2 weeks that I was here. The first week I was here, there was like this big culture festival here in Stockholm, which basically meant that every single day for an entire week there were concerts everywhere, there were street art performers, there were movie screenings on rooftops. It was crazy, and best of all, everything was for free. So this alone shows just the kind of life that a city like Stockholm offers. There's just no way this kind of happening could have been in a smaller city. You really have to move to the big cities to experience something like that. Furthermore, I met really inspiring people in just 2 weeks that I lived here. I went to a Toastmasters meeting actually the very first week that I came here, because usually going to Toastmasters is a very good way to meet very driven, passionate people who want to improve themselves. So just for you people who don't know what Toastmasters is actually an international public speaking club that you can find in bigger cities. So I went there, and turns out on that particular day there was no meeting, but I ended up meeting a guy who also wanted to go to that meeting, and we got to talk, and it turned out that he was really into self-development and improving himself. And we started talking about books that inspired us. We started talking about people that we listen to online, people who are good at public speaking, just driven people, people who want to improve their lives, improve the life of others, and who want to make the most out of their life. And again, this is not normal that you run into people who have that kind of passion. I know that very firsthand. In the rather small hometown in southern Germany where I'm from, it is not common that you run into people randomly and can start talking about these things, and that you read the same books already, and that you can quote authors, and the other people will know who you're talking about. I mean, this is really amazing, to be honest. Then this week I met a guy just by coincidence. It turned out that he lives one floor beneath my corridor in the dorm that I live in currently, and that guy turned out to be a very passionate entrepreneur. He said that he's actually going to study here in Stockholm, but he only chose that university because he knew that it is a good way to come to Stockholm and experience firsthand that really entrepreneur-friendly environment that Stockholm offers. So he basically is gonna do his master here, but he wants to really make the most out of this time to build his business on the side. So immediately we started talking about entrepreneurship, about different business ideas, about the startup scene here in Stockholm, how in what way Stockholm and the country of Sweden is supporting that kind of driven entrepreneurship. And this guy already lived in Stockholm for a year, so he could actually give me a lot of valuable advice in that area. Since I just moved here, I really don't have any network at all yet. And this guy could, just from the top of his head, recommend me 3 different startup meetups where people just come together and talk exactly about that, what I am passionate about. So again, this is not normal, this is not common, this is not something that is offered in every city. For me it is just so crazy to see how Stockholm, or any really big city, capital for that matter, is able to provide you all the environmental support that you need to really thrive in your life. If you are a driven person and you want to make the most out of your life, I really highly recommend you that you move to such a city. Because you can be as driven and as passionate and as hardworking as you want. If you are just living in a shitty little town in God knows where, then there is a very high probability that you're gonna fail, or that at least you're not gonna live up to your full potential. To live up to your full potential, you really need an environment that supports that kind of life that you want to live. You cannot make it just on your own. You need that environmental support to really thrive as a person. So I already experienced that after 2 weeks here, and I can only imagine how much better my life is gonna be maybe 2 months from now, or 2 years from now, even if I stay that long. And right now I really don't see a reason why I should move, because Stockholm is really offering everything that I could ask for. So again, try to find an environment that supports your passion. Try to find an environment that really supports the kind of life that you want to live, especially if it's the kind of life that is maybe a little bit outside of the norm in whatever way. Maybe you want to accomplish more than the average normal guy. Maybe you have hobbies that are a little bit out of mainstream, so to say. If you are that kind of person and you want to pursue those passions, I really recommend that you move to a city like Stockholm, where you have just that network and that really that support net that is gonna make everything that you want to accomplish a lot easier. Just today, and with that I'm gonna finish, I went to the city and I had no idea what I'm gonna do. I just wanted to experience Stockholm, and in a lot of other cities, experiencing the city would mean walking down a street, seeing an H&M left and an Esprit shop right, and then maybe a Burger King on the next corner. And that would be like what that city has to offer, so to say. In Stockholm, I jumped into the subway, then got out of it in the city center, and immediately ran into a triathlon that was happening here and was basically going through the entire city. So all these people came running by when I walked out of the subway. Then I walked a little bit further and I ran into a gospel festival. So they had a lot of different gospel choirs that are all practicing the entire year here in Stockholm for that one event. I shot a video and I'm gonna include it at the end of this video so you can check it out. It was really amazing. And this is the kind of things you run into if you live in a city like Stockholm. You cannot really expect that, you cannot even anticipate that it's gonna happen, but a city like Stockholm or any other really major city is gonna be able to surprise you. It's gonna take you by surprise and is gonna really elevate everything that you want to do with your life. So with that, I'm gonna sign off. enjoy this beautiful sunny day in Stockholm a little bit more. As always, talk to you next time.